Hi Lindsay, it's your mom. I'm getting ready to make that mushroom barley soup, so I've got all my ingredients ready. I've got my Instant Pot. I'm going to move it, just so you know, when I go to turn it on, I'm going to move it away from the cupboard because steam will go up on the cupboard, so I want to get it far away from the cupboard. I got my inside pot. This is what it looks like without the pot. I'm putting the pot in there. The first thing the directions say are to select the saute setting and add the oil and garlic for about 2 minutes until the garlic is bubbly. So I'm going to show you that. By the way, I'm going to use roasting and sauteing olive oil. So I have some other olive oil that's good for salads and stuff, but I don't use that when I saute. Okay, so I think it said what did it say? 2 tablespoons of this. Okay, and then here's what I'm going to do. So when I cook it, I'm going to put it on, right now it says off, but when I go to saute, I'm going to press this button for 2 minutes. Okay, so to saute, I just have it on the saute setting, and I have that in there. And it says on, I think that's all you got to do. So I'm just leaving it on, and I'm just going to use my, right there it says normal too, sorry. And I'm just going to use my kitchen timer to time it for 2 minutes while my garlic and my olive oil get happy there. All right. Okay, garlic's getting bubbly, and so now I'm going to add the onions, carrots, and celery, and a little bit of salt, and saute for 5 minutes. Okay, so now I'm sauteing my garlic, onions, carrots, celery. It said to do 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I just do a little pinch. I try to do as least salt as possible. So my Instant Pot still says saute and on, and I have my kitchen timer for 5 minutes. Although this is where Alexa is awesome, because you just shout, Alexa, turn your timer on. But my Alexa's upstairs. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to add the thyme, pepper, tomato paste, and saute for 1 minute more. I probably won't videotape that for you. Okay? And then I'm going to add the mushrooms, barley, bay leaf, and instead of mushroom broth, I use chicken broth. Okay. So I'm going to be putting all this in. This is all step 1 of the directions, but I'm not going to show you a video of it anymore because it's pretty straightforward. Thanks. Okay, I've added the thyme, pepper, and tomato paste, and I'm going to saute for 1 minute. Okay, I have added the mushrooms, the barley, I use chicken broth instead of mushroom broth, and a bay leaf. So now I'm actually on step 2 of the directions that say secure the lid and set the pressure release to sealing. Let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on here. Whoops. I've got to do a better job of getting my ring in here. Get that all around that metal part. Looks like I got a little bit of water in there from... the water out too. Okay, so I'm going to put this on. I might have to play with it for a minute here. Can you see that? Can you hear it? It's talking to me a little bit. Okay, so when it says sealing, it's hard to tell, but right on the top, this one says sealing, and these 2 on the side say venting. So sealing means you put that little guy there, you press the cancel button. Okay, so I'm still on saute. I don't want that. So it says keep warm, cancel. I cancel that. And now it says then select the pressure cook or manual setting and set the cook time for 30 minutes at high pressure. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, here's manual. I might have to do manual. When I press manual, it automatically comes for 30, which is what I want. Now it also says, so I want to make sure, first of all, I want to make sure nothing's over top of my my pot, because it's going to let some steam out. And I got to be very careful that I'm not reaching across the back of it. Okay, it says it's going to take about 15 minutes to come up to pressure before the cooking pot begins. So what I like to do is, so it's kind of funny, it went from 30 to on. And that means it's taking those 15 minutes to get to the 30 minutes that it has to cook. So 15 minutes to seal and get to pressure. And then it's going to go to the 30. So what I like to do is, whatever time it tells me it has to seal for, I like to set my timer for that. So that way I am keeping track. So at about 15 minutes, I'm going to come back over here, and then that should say 30, even though it says on right now. Then it should say 30. So right now on just means we're sealing it. We're not to the 30-minute cook time, okay? And then I'll show you another video of what happens next. So my timer just went off to wait for the 15 minutes for it to seal. And my Instant Pot still says 0, or it still says on, manual, and there was some steam coming off, as you noticed, and now the steam has stopped. So shortly, this on should turn to 30, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Okay, so the Instant Pot went down from 30 all the way to 1 to 0, and now it beeped, and it's doing this. Oh, and my other timer is going off. Okay, so now, when the cooking program ends, it says, when the cooking program ends, let the pressure vent for 20 minutes. Okay, so when it says to let the pressure vent for 20 minutes, so what I have to do is, this is now going to start keeping track of 20 minutes, but I'll also set my timer too. This is probably the hardest recipe, one of the hardest recipes to do in the Instant Pot because there's so many steps. Usually you just go to the next part that says press release to venting, and when it says go to venting, that means you just carefully, don't put your hand back here, you just carefully tip that little ad to one side or the other for venting, and then all the steam comes off. But again, make sure you don't reach across there because you're going to burn yourself. So now it's up to 1 minute. I've got to let it vent for 20 minutes. So I'm going to set my kitchen timer for 20 minutes. If I had my Alexa down here, I'd be using that, which would be awesome. And then at 20 minutes, when that goes off, then I'm going to flip that to venting. It'll shoot up a bunch of steam. I'm going to let it release for a while. When the steam stops, I'm going to take out the bay leaf and add the lemon juice. Yum, yum. So I just moved the dial, just tapped it, moved it from the center to the side, so it's venting. Steam came out a lot thicker than it is doing now. And then when it's done, I will just take the lid off, just by pulling that around and over carefully, and then take out the bay leaf and add the lemon juice, and you have mushroom barley soup. Yum. Okay, so to turn it off, I'm just going to press there, and then I'm going to turn it. Carefully take off the lid, keep the steam behind and away from me. And there we go. Mushroom barley soup. I just got to find the bay leaf and take it out. Pour in my lemon juice, and I'm good. Have fun.